Okay, so I'm going to use now in this video, we're going to talk about how to connect into your guides and your angels. Okay, so I'm going to use my amethyst for this one, but I can use my smoky quartz, and like I say, I have about 3 or 4 different ones. So again, I've already set where I put my finger, wrap it around, and then I do a pinch like that. Okay, now some of them can be really long. These ones are catered a little bit shorter, so if they're a little bit longer strings, you might have to wrap them a little more. But again, when you pinch with your middle finger and your thumb, you don't have to hold on it for dear life, just enough. Okay, so one of the things is there's guides, there's angels, there's spirit helpers that know how to connect into the pendulum. Okay, because when I first started, I have a big entourage on the other side. So I've got guides, I've got angels, spirit helpers, loved ones, ancestors, even earthbounds, people have passed over. And what happens is if I just allow and say to work with, it starts going all over the place because everybody on the other side's fighting with it. So I have to get specific with it and say, I ask for a guide who is an expert in the spirit world to connect into my pendulum. So if I want to have my entourage instead of my own coming in, then I can connect. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask a guide who knows how to connect into my pendulum in the spirit world. Okay, so it's spiraling, saying yes, so somebody's connecting in the spirit world. Okay, but we're also asking for the highest of the light. Okay, because I want the right person, the right expert in the spirit world. So it's saying it's connected. So we've come to a stop. So what I'm going to ask is, are you comfortable in working with my pendulum in the spirit world? Okay, it's telling me a no. Very interesting. Okay, stop. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to ask, do I have an angel working with the pendulum? No. So it's been in pretty hard. Okay. Now, do I have a spirit guide? And it's already spiraling. Okay. Now we're going to get a little silly. Now, do you really want to work with my pendulum, this particular spirit guide? Okay. So we've got the right person. So we had to get a little feisty back in there. Somebody else was trying to sneak in and play with it a little bit. Okay. So now I'm going to ask, how many spirit guides do I have? So I'm going counterclockwise. Okay, and I'm going to count. Stop for a minute. Now we're going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, between 10 and 11. That's about where I have, if I really want, but I only have one who is specifically working with it. Okay, so when I'm done communicating with the guide, and you can ask whatever you want to ask, whatever question that resonates for you. When you're working with them, you always say thank you. You want to make sure, thank you for working with the pendulum for me, because again, I'm closing that door and we're disconnecting my pendulum to them. Okay, so this is a way you can set up in knowing your entourage. Okay, again, we do need to create sacred space. That's why you want to make sure that you're bringing the highest of the light, 100%, if you want to use with the guide. Now, if you want to just do it for yourself, in working with your own subconscious, your spirit mind, so it's kind of, how do I explain it? Like working just in the mundane, not mundane, the physical world. So this, I'm going to ask my cameraman So I'm asking, after we're done with this video, should her and I go for lunch or a bite to eat? So that's saying yes. Okay. Now, when you're asking a question for yourself, because your spirit mind is, your pendulum becomes an extension of you. Okay. It's an extension of communication. Okay. So you really want to be neutral in your question. So this is the one area where we can influence. So if I really, really want to win the lotto and I really, really want it to say yes, I can influence it. Okay, so I have to be okay if it tells me no and tells me yes. Okay, so I need to be okay with that. And I hate to say it, I've done it a few times, and it's still telling me I'm not winning the lotto. So I still have to work and make a paycheck. Okay, so this is, you really want to be neutral in your questions. Okay, so again, when you're answering these questions for yourself with your pendulum, you might still want to create sacred space, but these are now your personal relationship with it. Now you can use your guides and angels to answer those questions too. If you really don't want to, you're neutral and you want to ask your angel, do I win the lotto? Or your guide, or appears that I have 10 guides, and you can have multiple guides. You don't just have to have one spirit guide. So with this, part of it is, you can just use it for your personal self. It's like you want to know if there's a baby coming along the way, and you can use yes and no. Or you can go on above mom's belly, like they used to use the string and the ring. But if you're really hoping you want a granddaughter or grandson, and you really, really want what either, or if you're okay, if it's a boy, girl, doesn't matter. But again, you got to be careful. You want to be as neutral as possible. So in the next videos, I'll give you examples and how to work with the pendulum.